Yeah, stamp. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yes. Acquired the ultimate hydration. 2 cups of tea. Let's go. Did you get a chance to check out the Poltergeist piano theme on the music channel? Kate, yeah, totally. A lot of what you're playing sounds oh cool, cool. Yeah, I could feel that. Yep. Yeah, totally. Thanks for sharing that. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you. That's a huge compliment. Right on. Brundle, let's go. Glad you're feeling better. Glad you're feeling better. Appreciate y'all. Thanks, Tom. Thank you. One of my piano students, that like John Batista video that's pretty much gone viral, full viral at this point, of like doing Furelise in a jazz style. First, when I first saw that video, when it came out, like, remember how we talked about that on stream? Like, we totally did that for a music lesson and for a piano only here on stream. Like, I don't know, like a year ago or something, we were talking about Beethoven and the blues scale and how Furelise uses some of those blues notes and stuff. One of my piano students just absolutely loves that. And so we've been doing an approach to that, like taking what's going on in Furelise and literally going that next step, turning it into a jazz chart and improvising and stuff over it the way Batista does. Piano playing sounded so good. Thanks, Kaden. Hey, good to see you today, second, Kaden. Glad you're enjoying it. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's just like, this is awesome. Let's go. Heck yeah, the Beethoven blues. Jazz. He heard it all. He heard it all. Such a cool music study. It's really neat. Bump a kid. Yeah. Yep. That fits right in. Furelise, like, there's lots of crossover there, especially once you get into like the late romantic period. A lot of what Chopin and Liszt were up to with like left hand chord voicings, especially something like that, like voicing a major seventh chord, 7 1 3 5. So there's a lot of like direct vocabulary crossover once you get into that period, but finding it in Beethoven as well is just awesome at like taking some of those. Furelise is such a like straightforward, that note, like it's the tritone. It's one of the what we call blue note, one of the blue notes in music. And it's just like such a feature of that melody and that tune. It's like just perfect place to explore that. Cool. I love it when artists come up with alternative ways. Yeah, to interpret songs, Kate. Me too. Me too. Such a wonderful thing. Try to improvise. Oh, some Zelda music. Kate did. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's definitely a part of all of the improv and stuff that I do, is because I've learned a good deal of Zelda themes, especially like Ocarina of Time, of course, like all the Ocarina tunes, but like the fairy fountain music as well. It's, yeah, video game music in general. Zelda certainly at the top of that list. Been playing for a long time. Did you learn alone? Alabex. Yeah, I've been playing. In some ways, I've kind of been playing since I was a little kid. So sort of my whole life, we had piano in the house growing up, and my dad was a musician for a long time. He had stopped. He had stopped working in bands and stuff and touring by the time they had me and my brother, and my mom had started a family and stuff. He stopped working on the road and things, but have a musical family, especially on his side. Have some people who play in orchestras around the US and stuff. Zelda music's, oh yeah, Echoes of Wisdom, cool. Gate and Jules and I are headed there. We're actually playing Tunic right now, which is, if you like Zelda, I mean, it's just amazing. And the music is really something else in Tunic as well. Can't recommend that game enough. We've been having a blast. But yeah, so like had pianos and different instruments around the house growing up. But I did go to school for music and studied piano and bass as a jazz performance major, and then went on the road after that. So I started taking it really seriously sort of late high school, like my junior, senior year in high school. I had played in punk rock bands and stuff going back to middle school, and like I said, had always had music and stuff happening around the house. Took piano lessons when I was a little kid, my brother and I both, and we absolutely hated it. uh, Accordion was actually my first instrument, and I did love accordion. That was my very first instrument when I was in like kindergarten, first grade, was accordion. Yeah. But then, so was just kind of doing it like that, and then started taking it serious and really studying and practicing a lot going into college, and then, yeah, got my degree in music studies. Started with violin and begged my parents to let me switch to be a pumpkin. Violin's such a tough place to start. Oh my gosh. That's a brutal place to start. It really is. Brundle, thanks for the music bumps there. Thank you. Tunic was so good. Yeah, it was so good. It is. We're just to the boss rush part. Just got to the boss rush part. Amazing. Thanks, Alavex. Right on. Might head that direction too, Caden. Cool. Hey, all the best to you. If you have any questions or anything, or ever want to chat about that, DMs are open, especially over on Discord. It's a good place to reach out. Be happy to chat with you about any of that stuff too. Yeah. Right. Yeah, pump a kid. Anymore, honestly, like when people ask me what instrument to start on, especially parents asking like what instrument their kids should start on, I say drums. I know a lot of parents especially shy away from it because they're like, I don't want just banging and clanking going on in the house. I'm like, you should listen to a kid learning violin, and you'll be like, please start just banging and clanging on stuff. Like, listen to a 6-year-old try to learn violin. You'll get hooked on drums real quick. But no, from like a practical standpoint, from like an educational standpoint, drums to me do make the most sense. Discard Kate, let's go Kate. Drums, I love playing drums. I do love it, but it makes a lot of sense from like an educational standpoint that getting in touch with rhythm and understanding how rhythm is written and notated and putting that in your physicality as well. Like, even if you never like play drums or even go to a drum kit, those basic rhythm skills can take you anywhere. And it's funny because a lot of people say that about piano. Like, if you can play and read piano music, that it translates to a lot of stuff. But I find that drums are far more effective, like far more accessible. Yeah, no joke, it's so painful. Pumpkin, oh my gosh, brutal. Like, God love them. All the love in the world to the youngsters learning the arco string instruments, violin, viola, cello, even bass. Like, but it is, man, getting a sound out of those even, it's just brutal. Fair, you learned to play violin from 8 years onwards, man. Right. Yes, quite enjoy it now. That's awesome, Purple Quill. Yeah, it's that initial learning curve, right? Like the learning curve on those string instruments and like reed instruments as well. A lot of the woodwinds and brass though too, like it's just so steep right at the beginning. That learning curve is just like a straight line straight up at the very beginning. And I think that's what people mean by like learn piano first, because you can just press it and get a note. Today was nice. Got to go have fun. Thanks, Tom. Great to see you today, Tom and Jerry. Absolutely. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad you're able to hang out for a bit. Take care. We'll see you next time. Much love. Also feel like drummers have to feel the rhythm and groove really hard. That's something I still struggle with on piano today. Totally pump again. Absolutely. Like if you can internalize that rhythm and really get in touch with that, it carries over into everything. Totally. And with like the string instruments and woodwinds, there's especially up front because there needs to be so much emphasis on like how to make a note. Whereas on drums, boom, you can start like hitting stuff and hey, you're making music. Um, Percussion instruments in general, piano included, you can just like start hitting it and it's making a note. But then on that side of it with percussion instruments and piano along those lines, like it starts to become what notes do I use? And you spend so much time on what notes as opposed to when the notes are happening, and that's that rhythm component that drums really give you. Like you can start with just when do I play notes, and starting from the when place, uh, then going into the like how do I make a note, and then to the what notes do I use, is a really good progression. I found that to be a really successful progression. Mediocre at drums, more classical strumming guitars, cool Caden. Told I'd be good at piano because of my double jointedness. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, it might feel like that might give you a physical sort of a bit more access there. Could see that. Yo, if you ever want to share any of your guitar playing and stuff, love to check it out, Caden. I so wish my school district had handled music education differently. Boy, I know you're not alone there, Sean. Good to see you, Sean D. Welcome into, yeah, no, you're definitely not alone there. Elementary school, the curriculum was so rigid. Being involved with school band was so inconvenient. That's how mine was too. It really was. Like, our music classes in like elementary school especially was so scholastic. It was so academic. It was like, had we all just been given a drum and like, let's bang on the drum and see if we can hit a note at the same time. Like, can we clap together at the same time? Can we hit notes together? Would have been so much more accessible and like musical instead of like, okay, here's the staff, here's the notes on this, like purely academic, almost entirely detached from music, which is like, when you think about it, is sort of a ridiculous way to go about it. Then in later years, the barrier to entry really high for those that hadn't been involved. Right, Shanti, and then all of a sudden the bus says, like, passed you by. Totally. Yeah, you are definitely not alone there, friend. In school and stuff, that was definitely my experience. I was lucky enough to be able to find other ways in outside of school and find music and instruments and stuff outside of that. But yeah, I mean, that was my experience too. You're definitely not alone. Yeah, that's a bummer, friend. Much love. Hey, good to see you. Welcome. Learn English on your streams too. You're such an example for me to think. Alabex. That's so cool. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that, Alabex. Big hearts. Absolutely love to hear that. Love to hear that. You're doing great. We love chatting with you. We love chatting with you. Glad you're here, Alabex. It's awesome. Takes all the joy. Right, exactly, Sean D. Yeah. And you're just like, wait a second. Wait, what is the thing again, though? It's a bummer because it's a place where, like, scholasticism or whatever you want to call that, academia, like, they want it to be testable. They want to fit the arts and music. That's why those things are so often just cut altogether out of school curriculums, because they want it to be this testable thing for you to be able to take a 10-question test and boom, prove that you know music. But music and the arts in general don't work that way at all. Like, the test should be, can you play 4/4 time and play a beat on a drum? or something along those lines. Like, but they want it to be this like testable element, so they teach to the test instead of teaching to the student or teaching the thing. It's a real bummer kind of consequence of a lot of academia. Yeah. Gladly, I also found ways to become a musician in my teens outside of this. Yes, let's go, Shandi. Yo, heck yes, heck yes. Not the best at reading music, but taking choir for a year definitely made me better. That's awesome, Kaden. And yeah, once you get it, like once you love it and are working with it in a musical sense, circling back to those scholastic elements is a lot easier. Like circling back around to those, now you have like soil to plant that stuff in and a framework for it to make sense in and the desire to want to learn it as opposed to starting there. Like imagine if that's, how you learned to talk when you were an infant. Like instead of just talking and hearing language and working with it, you were just at like age 2, along with your breakfast, you were given like a grammar study, or like had to learn spelling and stuff like that. It's not the way it works at all. You just start talking. You just learn it through interacting with it. Vince, hey Vince Dell. Good evening, everybody. Hi, Vince. Good evening. How was your day? Welcome on it. Big one worked 16 hours. Oh, someone was out sick on your team. Yo, Vince. Well, I'm glad that huge workday is wrapped up. Get on in here. Wishing you some good rest. Hope you can find some good winding down relaxation here with us. Man. Archer, hey. How are you today, Archer? Welcome in. Hola, Svan. How was your Tuesday? Pew, pew, pew. Welcome in, y'all. Hope you had a good one. Yeah, that's a huge, huge work day. Pew. Awesome, everything's okay. Doing good here too, Arthur. Thank you. Really nice, beautiful piano day here. Hanging out with y'all. It's a good one. Glad you're doing okay. stressing at work, watching the leaves fall from the trees, listening to piano music. That's awesome, Olasvad. That's lovely. That's lovely. Hope it's a nice chill shift for you too. Thank you, Arthur. Thanks, y'all. Glad you're enjoying it. Welcome back in, Kat. Okay, at least for now. I have another 20 minutes before I have work to do. Let's go. Squeeze in. I hope you can get like an hour and a half worth of rest into that 20 minutes. Good old power nap, power rest. Sometimes it's very difficult for me, but I hang on. I want to get there. I like this language. You're awesome, Malapex. Yo. We love having you here. Continued best of luck with your studies. And getting that happening. So far the night's calm, a lot of time to rest, beautiful, good, good. For real, Sean, yeah. Absolutely, Alabex. Yeah, yep. Hi, RJ. Good to see you. Hey, Nate. How's it going? Glad you could make it in today, Nate. How's your Tuesday?